Welcome to the Daily Boogie.
Let's get a debate going.
In Anaheim, California, and blocked an entrance. They chanted slogans and prevented families from entering until law enforcement finally removed them.
2 days or a weekend, yes, Netrag, exactly. My first thought was, why would you go to Disneyland for this protest? Like, you know, come on. What do grown, sweaty men wearing large mascot outfits have to do with this? Don't drag them into it. Don't drag them into it.
Can you tell me why you guys chose Disneyland?
This is where dreams come true, right? This is Disneyland is where your dreams come true, and we want our dreams to come true.
Don't we all, darling, though? See, that's the other thing. We want our dreams to come true. Yeah, great. I have dreams. They're called dreams for a reason, right? Because it's not real. It's not real. You can have dreams, but that's not reality, in a sense.
So at least one group of illegal aliens isn't hiding in the shadows. Instead, they're screaming at tourists at an amusement park. Imagine what it takes to act this way. You show up in a country that's far better than the one you left. That's why you came here. Wouldn't you be grateful? These people are not. They're angry. They're entitled. They literally have no right to be in America, but they're full of menacing demands. And not just at Disneyland. We've seen a bunch of demonstrations like this all over the country in the last year. People demanding immediate citizenship and the free stuff that goes with it, some of them waving foreign flags. The question is, would any other country on Earth put up with this? Even sensitive beta male Canada would probably draw the...
Tucker has really gone, like, he's really starting to go hard edge now, isn't he? Did he just say beta male Canada? Sensitive beta male Canada. Wow. I hope Tucker did some internal polling of the Canadian viewership of his program and said, you know what, we don't have that many viewers in Canada. It's okay. This is going to work. That's fine. He's gone raw, says 33 rule. I still yearn for the days. Periscopers, thanks for joining us. Beta male Canada, yeah. I still yearn for the days of Tucker in a bow tie, though. Because if you can squeeze out beta male Canada whilst wearing a bright yellow bow tie, then you have ascended into the realm of the gods, as far as I'm concerned.
Line at this, try sneaking over their border illegally and blocking access to Niagara Falls. They'd deport you. They'd probably apologize as they deported you, but they would deport you. It's worth remembering that a lot of our immigrants are not at all like these people you see on the screen. They are grateful to be here. They work hard. They mind their own business. They add a lot to this country. Let's find more people like that. The people you just saw on the tape, we should track every one of them down and boot them out of...
See, Tucker didn't make mention of it there. Let me just ruth with you for a second. He didn't make... Just take a sip of wine now. Yummy. He didn't mention it there, but here's the trap that you're always going to get dragged into. And you have to be aware of it. People who are pro-open border type policies will always attempt to conflate immigration with illegal immigration. Because these people, by definition of having like an open border stance, you have to be less on the scale in terms of law and order. So they're probably more liberal when it comes to punishment and crime and, you know, these kinds of things. So it all feeds in, like it's all part of a tapestry that makes up a person and their opinions. So you have to be aware of it. And, you know, I'm not talking, you know, don't start abusing your friends and family if they have a different view. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking like in the media and the way things get framed, because they will try to create a debate at the top. They'll try to create a debate between us, the peasants, which is like if you're if you have a strong stance on illegal immigration, that means you hate all immigrants, right? And to be fair, the reverse would also happen. You know, if people want amnesty for illegal immigrants, then people on the law and order side will turn around and say, you know, well, you're open borders. And they might not necessarily be as well. So, but it's these kinds of artificial debates that will get created and shoved at you. And that's what tears, you know, people apart, families apart, communities apart. So, you know, it's just worth noting the way that they will try to kind of hijack your brain and make you have the argument that they want you to have rather than the one that you want to have. I'm not saying anyone's stupid or anything, but just beware of like this conflation between legal and illegal. One is legal, one is illegal. So when they say you hate all immigrants, say no. That's not the case at all. Unless you do. I mean, if you do, then fine. Say that. Yes, I hate all immigrants. Someone's going to soundbite that now. But if you do, then say it. But if you don't let them defend that, you know, that position that they've pushed on you. So we're going to see a bit of this in this little clip here.
This country tonight and for good. They're exactly the kind of people we don't want here. Of course, those protesters won't be deported. No one ever is. The current Democratic Party believes enforcing borders is a human rights violation.
Human rights. Borders are against human rights.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer for allowing the government to reopen without amnesty.
That's true, Storm and Norman. Thanks for joining us. What happens in America inherently affects us. We are, effectively a satellite state of the American Republic to an extent. Politically, economically, culturally, it's all part of it.
You said Senate Democrats are getting their butts kicked on the shutdown debate. Is that true?
I'm not sure the exact words, but the sentiment that we did a poor job in messaging is correct.
I'm disillusioned. I think they're caving. Democrats are pretty good at articulating values, but a little weak on defending them.
Kathy Sheehan is the mayor of Albany, New York, the capital of that state. It's also...
Oh, Kathy. Oh, Kathy. You can already tell she's worried. Look at the eyes. Look at the crossed arms. She's almost biting her lip. She knows this is not going to be easy.
Sanctuary city.
Wins Alive says, at least you got that ocean separation.
And she joins us tonight. Ms. Mayor, nice to see you.
Good to see you.
So I can't resist asking about the Disneyland video that we just showed. People here illegally blocking entry to Americans in an amusement park because they're demanding citizenship and free stuff. What country would put up with that other than ours?
Well, listen, this is a country that values free speech and the right to protest, and these are young people who...
This is an argument that I dislike immensely. Straight away, the question is, why are they blocking people from going into an amusement park? And she's like, well, this country values free speech and protest. And it's like, yes, but it doesn't value you getting in the way of people, going about their business. Because you're now impeding someone else's rights. You're infringing on their right to, pursue happiness by going in to an amusement park, like I said, to, converse and cohort with sweaty men wearing oversized mannequin outfits, mascot outfits. Eat ice creams. Those values are for citizens, says NetDrag. Yep. That's the other thing, too, you have a difficult time explaining. The American Constitution applies to American citizens. It doesn't apply to the world. It's not a world constitution. It's literally for the American citizens. So if you are not an American citizen, guess what? You don't have those same constitutional rights. I'm sorry, by definition. It may be unfair. It may be wrong. It may be all of those things, but it is what it is, essentially. And a lot of people would say they don't want the American Constitution to spread across the rest of the world. And they have said that, with this kind of spreading democracy stuff in the 90s and the 2000s. Remember all the people that got angry about spreading democracy? Remember that? It's like, no, we don't want you to spread democracy, but we want the world to have free reign over yours. Oh, okay. Sounds like a good deal.
feel that they were given a promise and that DACA was a way for them. These are young people who were brought over here as children, not by their choice, as a way for them to have a pathway to citizenship. And this is a great country in that we allow people the freedom to
Why would we
express
allow
themselves.
foreigners? By the way, why would you want someone in your country who's not grateful to be here, who's demanding of American citizens the right to vote and get benefits? Don't you want people who are grateful to be here and want to add?
You know, every immigrant that I've ever met is grateful to be here. Every
immigrant that I've ever met is grateful to be here. Oh, okay. Well, that's like 100%. It's like 100% tick on the experiment. Everyone that I've ever met's grateful. Oh, okay. Well, let's change the law for 320 plus million people then, right? Tucker, I think you're wrong. Despite the video evidence that we are looking at right now, everyone that I've ever met wouldn't do this. Therefore, you're wrong. Oh, okay. Thanks for that.
That doesn't mean that they're not going to stand up for their rights. And, I joined
again, stand up for their rights. But again, the American Constitution only applies to citizens, fairly or unfairly, rightly or wrongly, racistly or unracistly. That's the deal. That's the deal. Whether one likes it or not. So they have the rights of, DACA people are Americans. Okay. The Constitution says otherwise. But again, people have their own opinions. That's fine, and I welcome them. But by definition, DACA people are not Americans. That's just, I'm sorry. Do they have an American passport? No. Do they have an American birth certificate? No. Let's go through. We'll tick off the criteria. Okay. Let's have 3 forms of identification. Let's have 3 forms of identification. Okay. Birth certificate. American? No. Oh, okay. How about you got an American driver's license? Nope. Are you an American taxpayer? Nope. Do you have an American passport? No. Okay. Do you have any government record that proves you're an American at all? Nope. Okay. I am an American though. Right. Okay. Why? Because you say so? That would be a great way to have border controls in the future. It would save those lines when you get to the airport. I know they're very frustrating. You get to those and you've got those lines at the airport and it takes forever to go through customs. Why even bother with the paperwork? Let's just have people get to the airport and they can say which country they belong to, and it's like, okay, beautiful. Hey, this guy says he's an American. All right, off you go. Welcome home. Thank you. Welcome back to America.
Of people across this country in protests that happened on Saturday from people who were born and raised in this country and who've been here for generations. That is one of the hallmarks of our great society.
Born and raised in this country, been here for generations. One person has been here for generations. Born and raised in this country. They were at the DACA. Those DACA people are American. Those ones are. The ones protesting. A lot of them are, which is fair. That would be a fair comment.
They're not Americans, these people.
But they have a voice. They have a right to a voice. Just because you're not from here doesn't mean the Constitution doesn't apply to you.
If you're here...
Yes, it does. They have a right to a voice. What does that even mean? I have a right to a voice. Okay. Great. That the voice box gives you that right. Your vocal cords give you that right. It's, maybe it's a privilege rather than a right.
That's well settled
law. No, it's not
law.
actually. If you broke our law to get here, you don't have the rights that an American citizen have. Where do those rights come from then?
So when you are here, you have constitutionally protected rights. And
just want to say again, this is a mayor This is a mayor. This isn't a person off the street. This is a mayor.
I think that when we look to polarize this conversation by pointing these people who are here, brought here by...
See, if you point out the difference between a citizen and a non-citizen, you are unnecessarily polarizing the conversation. You're dividing people. And we mustn't have that, boys and girls. If you dare point out the differences between a citizen and a non-citizen, you're being very polarizing and divisive, and this is harmful. You're being very harmful to the harmony. So you mustn't make that distinction between citizen and non-citizen. That would be a social and political faux pas, and everybody suffers.
Their parents without their choice and demonizing them. We really turn the conversation.
Demonizing. if you dare point out the difference in definition, legal definition between citizen and non-citizen, you are now casting all of these people as demons. I mean, please. And again, this person's a mayor. I blame the voters. Voters of Albany, this is your fault. This is your representative. Thanks for joining us, Bearded Truth. Always a pleasure. Oh, we will. We got plenty to go. We're going to have fun. Oh, Doc G's still in the house. I've lost a lot of bubbles here, so it looks like everyone's leaving. Yeah, people of Albany, this is your representative on the national stage. This is your girl. This is your team. This is the captain of your team. Oh, don't make any difference between legal and illegal or citizen and non-citizen. That's divisive. You're demonizing people. You're very horrible. This is the girl.
Entrance to
us
Disney
versus them.
Whoa.
And so
it's us versus them now.
They block the entrance to Disneyland, okay?
Simon says, so you have no problem kicking out productive people that are here at no fault of their own. If that's what you inferred from my comments so far, good luck to you, but I'm not going to address stupid questions.
I didn't do that. They did that. Do they bear any responsibility for doing that?
And there are Americans who use their right to free speech to block entrances, to shut down roads, and to protest things in this country.
Do you see
and whether you were born here or you weren't born
it's
here,
not a matter of being born
you have
here.
that right.
No, it's a matter of citizenship. Citizenship is meaningful to most Americans. They think you're different if you're a citizen.
And they want to be on a path to citizenship. Okay. These are young people who are working hard and who have worked hard.
These are people who are in the middle.
The path to citizenship. So again, what does that mean? That's right. That's rhetoric, isn't it? We want a path to citizenship. I thought there already was one. If you come in a certain way legally and have all the paperwork filled out, and you're there for however long it is, what is it, like 2 years? Or you can get a green card by marrying an American lassie. You work, you show you paid taxes, you've done this, you've done that. Guess what? You can be a citizen. There's your path to citizenship. Right? Nobody likes the idea of people being brought over as kids, and their parents took them over the border and stuff. Simon, it's a pleasure to have you, the Canaanite. Europeans have no problem of going to other countries and taking it over and destroying it. Okay. Well, did Europeans destroy America, Simon? Because then I have no idea why everyone's trying to get there, if that were the case. The migrant crisis in Europe. It seems like there are a lot of people trying to get into these destroyed countries, to be fair. But, I'm not going to get sidetracked. So, nobody wants, if you were taken over as a 1-year-old, that's your parents' fault. I get that. If the parents broke the law, it's not your fault. It's not fair. And, I get all that. That's fine. I understand that. Should we lock up your parents? Would that be fair? You would still have to go back though, because you know there is no legal status for you, no legal definition. So if the parents, broke the law, maybe they get prison and you just get deported. Is that fair, or I don't know.
Be on a weekday, we're blocking Disneyland. So tell me they were working hard. So you're
from Australia, you know all about that, right? Yeah, a lot of those evil Europeans who came over and destroyed the country came here in chains, brother, as convicts. So read a fucking history book.
A new Harvard poll shows that 4 out of 5 Americans, 81% of Americans, want less legal immigration, a lot less. Where were their interests? Where are their interests in the modern Democratic Party? 4 out of 5 Americans of all political parties want less legal immigration. Are you aware of that?
Well, and I think that that's really a stunning number, and it demonstrates that we need to do a better...
I've got the solution. We'll just get another island in the South Pacific. We'll send all the convicts there, and in a couple of 100 years' time, they will have produced a civilized, functioning, modern society when they didn't have a choice to come here in the first place, and then we'll demonize them for it. We'll say how horrible they are, like these evil people, these evil convicts who stole a handkerchief and got sentenced to life on a random island somewhere on the other side of the world. God damn them! How dare they build cities and farms and create things? Those bastards.
Job of communicating how important immigration is to our cities and to our country. And you look at a city like Albany, New York. We have an aging population. A lot of the growth that's happening in our city is
the population argument. We need to bring in more people because everybody's getting old. Oh, okay. Everyone's getting old, so... I mean, population shrinkage you can deal with if you plan for it. When politicians come out and say that we need to now flood the area with as many people as possible because the population is aging, that suggests to me poor planning. You guys haven't been doing your job then, if that's the case, right? And that doesn't mean that the Constitution no longer applies. The Constitution is still there. It just means you were really, really shit at doing your job. So,
happening because of immigration. The number one complaint I get from employers is that they can't find people to work. And so we've got a real workforce development challenge in the city of Albany and in the capital region.
Tamara says they need more Social Security money to steal. Yeah, because they're spending too much. You keep spending. You need more taxpayers. You need more consumers. You've got to have perpetual growth. Must have perpetual growth. Maybe there's no differentiation made between government spending and, wage spending, like private people spending their own money. But since we don't like to define things like, the difference between citizen, non-citizen, legal, illegal, then let's not make it any difference between, government spending and people spending. It's just the same. It's all spending. It's all good. It's fantastic. Simon says, we have room for these people. Some people just don't want non-Europeans coming over to dilute them. Ah, okay. Well, I don't know. Some people. Okay. Well, that's their choice. That's their argument. Maybe everybody's racist. Maybe that's the problem, Simon. The real problem about this is just it's got nothing to do with sovereignty, border security. Nothing to do with Constitution. Yes, the truth hurts. I bet you feel good all the time.
And immigration is helping to fuel that workforce.
I wonder, though, I mean, so for example, I was just looking at stats provided by the Albany School District, and I think you've said before that your city's about 40% foreign-born.
No. It's about 11% foreign-born, but we have about 40 languages spoken in our schools.
40 languages, my mistake. But that's a pretty high number. So in 2017, of eighth graders and
you know, Simon, I don't remember seeing you here before, but dissenters will go to the head of the queue. I always welcome arguments, always welcome opposing views, so you're more than welcome to throw them at me and get involved and have a chat. Happy to have you. Thanks for joining us.
Albany schools, 0% qualified, 0%, according to your stats, qualified in math.
Well,
so that seems to me like a crisis much...
Was she laughing there? Just a little laugh.
Percent, according to your stats, qualified in math.
Well,
so that seems to me like a crisis much larger than anything you're describing.
The challenge is
where the outrage is.
The challenges in our school district existed before we had the immigration that we have now.
Right. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, like, why? I wonder why I've never heard you. As
quick lesson in political rhetoric: challenge is a substitute for problem. So if you're a politician, you say challenges instead of problems, because people don't like problems. They like challenges, but they don't like problems. So you can't say to people, we have a problem. Because they go, boo, get rid of that guy, get rid of that chick. They've got so many problems. But if you come out and say, you know, we are ready to face the challenges, they're like, yeah, I'm ready to face those challenges too. So it's just words.
Outraged about that as you are about,
Periscopus.
I don't know, enforcing federal immigration law. That seems like a crisis. Would you agree that's a crisis? 0% of eighth graders?
Well, that's absolutely right, and that is why, you know, that's another whole conversation we can have about the work that we are doing to partner with our school district and to ensure that we're turning that around.
Partner with, i.e., political spin for tell them what to do.
And by bringing together our institutions of higher education, our business community, you know, our healthcare.
Bringing together, i.e., tell everybody what to do.
So that we are addressing those issues.
Do you think that bringing in more students who don't...
Addressing? We haven't really fixed it yet. It doesn't look like we're going to fix it anytime soon, but at least you think that we're doing something. So we're addressing it. I'm mentioning these things. That means that the wheels are turning, things are happening. Relax, we're addressing it.
Don't have English as a first language helps or hurts that?
I think that when you look at what we are doing with our new language learners, that we are
the you got me laugh, says Monica.
Having interventions that are helping them to
interventions. Oh, so there must be a problem.
It's a problem that you need to solve. You just conceded it's a problem. You're trying to make the problem better. But it is a problem when you import people who don't speak English as a first language. Why would you add that burden to schools where 0% of eighth graders are proficient in math? 0%.
Well, first of all, that number is a little misleading because of how the testing is done.
But that's your...
The number 0 is misleading because of how the testing is done. What she means by that is because the tests are administered in English and the people don't speak English, the 0% score is misleading. When the question was, don't you think it's a problem then for the schools to import people when they speak no English? Well, no, that's misleading. If the test wasn't in English, then they wouldn't get 0. Yes, we understand you. That's the problem. Tamara says, new language learners. I know people who have been here for decades and can't speak a word of English. There are towns in Germany, believe it or not, where second and third generation people still speak Turkish and don't speak German. You'll be pleased to know. Towns in Germany. Nobody speaks German there. They speak Turkish. So, yeah. Again, it is what it is. Maybe that's just racism. I don't know.
But if you pass the region exam, you didn't have to take the test that you're talking about. But in any event, when you look at the challenges that exist in any school district, in any urban school district, it's incumbent upon the school district and the stakeholders in that community to ensure that we are doing what we can so that these children are successful. And we are seeing incredible success.
It takes real balls to be confronted with a stat of 0% and then say, we are seeing real success. Right? 0% are passing. Yes, but, you know, we're facing these challenges and we're engaging with the stakeholders, and it is incumbent on us to do that, and we are seeing real success. But that's not anything. That's just words. It's like, what's success? It's literally zero. It's literally zero. Literally Hitler. It's literally zero. Success, though. I can't wait to hear what the success is.
I haven't seen those. I'm sure you're seeing some success. It's really simple. I'm not arguing against all immigrants. I'm not arguing against your schools. I'm just saying there's a crisis in your schools, obviously. Does importing more immigrants make it better? And you've conceded no, it doesn't. It's a problem that you need to solve.
I don't see it as making it better or worse. I see it as an asset to the city to see that we have the opportunity to continue to grow, to continue to have economic development.
So what's the right number then?
Occur.
If bringing in more people from third world countries makes Albany a better city, is good for your schools, it's good for your economy, what's the right number? How many people do you think need to come from...
Storm and Norman says, how about we guarantee free passage to Germany? It won't be free unless they're really good swimmers, to be fair. Or they can fly. One or the other.
Foreign countries to Albany for you to get really rich.
So, you know, this is where the federal government needs to step up and decide what immigration policy is going to be. That happens at the federal level.
As the mayor, though, you're making the case that they make your city more prosperous, and I'm saying, what's a good number?
I would advocate to ensure that we have enough people on H-1B visas. We are we have one of the largest semiconductor manufacturing facilities in the capital region. GE's R&D center is there. I worked for a medical device manufacturer. We used H-1B visas to bring in.
We're not actually talking about H-1B visas. It was a totally different category. We're talking about poor people like the DACA recipients who are not H-1B people. They're people with lower than average educational attainment. And my simple question was, if more of poor people makes your city richer, what's the good number of poor people to bring?
Look, I'm not talking about statistics.
I'm not talking about... Here's my question. Yeah, but I'm not talking about that. Well, why the fuck are you on television? Sorry. Thanks. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us, by the way. Here's my question. Can you answer it? I don't want to talk about that. Well... Good evening, folks. The Mayor of Albany.